In today's world, misinformation and fake news are running rampant. It's like wildfire all over the place, man. And it has real impact on all of our lives. We want to explore a few things about fake news today. We want to talk about why people believe fake news. We want to talk about the impact of misinformation, as well as how to prevent fake news. So let's go ahead and get it cracking.
Yeah, wow. This day and age is crazy. It's funny, and not to jump on this, to jump on the bandwagon, but just recently at work, we were talking about the Ocean Gate thing. The first thing one of my coworkers said was, "Nah, that's fake news. They made that up. That's AI generated right off the back." And it's just crazy. This day and age, we go there. We think that things are fake because they are. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times when things are legitimate, we misjudge them.
I will tell you this much, man. From my perspective, I feel like if you're gonna make fake news, if you're gonna misinform people, there should be like a goal like behind it, and there usually is. Like to your point about Ocean Gate, well, what would be the need? Why would that be fake news? How is that going to elevate something? How is it going to help someone? How is it going to make money? Now I know why people make fake news like on YouTube, TikTok, stuff like that, because they get more views. Because they get more money when they get more views, and they get monetized. And there's a purpose behind putting out some of that fake news. But saying something about Ocean Gate and these men getting imploded.
I
don't get it.
I don't. You're right, but it's some people that just misjudge or don't trust the government or don't trust the media, so they automatically go to fake news. Everything legitimate stuff. Oh man, that's happening, but that's fake. I know somebody personally like believes all these off-brand websites instead of strong proven media. They just think the media is out to get them. But www, we putting out fakenews.com. They'll believe them all day. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, that ain't even a legitimate source. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's horrible. So. It's just a element of people that just don't trust the media at all,
Well, my thing is, do people understand what a credible source is? Like what does that mean to them? Credibility means you got to be able to trust, you have balanced viewpoints, you have multiple perspectives. So maybe people don't understand what credibility is. And maybe that causes half the problem. They don't understand that www.jet is not a credible website versus information like you're getting from NPR or John Hopkins for medical. So I think maybe it's just the information. They don't understand what is credible versus non-credible.
I think the reason why, to your point, right, credibility has a lot to do with it, and people don't understand credibility, or they don't care about credibility. They care about their viewpoint being accepted. And when they see something out there, if it's fake or real, if they see something that they can relate to and they agree with, then they think it's real because it aligns with their thoughts. It aligns with their perspectives, their beliefs. So I think that's a big part of it. Like when you say why people believe fake news, that's why I think they believe it, because they want to feel like they're part of some little secret group that feels the same way they do. I mean, that's my perspective. What do you guys think?
Definitely information comes from organizations or individuals that are experts in that area. I think everybody wants to be an expert, but they don't really know what an expert is.
No.
So not just because you went to college and got, education, but that does lead one thing. But a lot of times it's just reputation on the topic. They hear one thing and then they jump on it, and that, like you said, aligns to their perspective or viewpoint. And that's the problem. Everybody wants to be an expert. Everybody's not an expert.
Yeah. The internet basically is a blessing and a curse. The internet's got a lot of people believing they're smarter than they really are. And because they can look it up and they'll find anything that's a source. And then their whole plot and ploy then is, I'm right, you're wrong.
Right.
They don't care, if they wrong as hell. I'm right, you're wrong. I looked it up here. Scary part about the internet is, like you said, John Hopkins. Then you got the people who got phishing schemes where they'll build something that looks like the website, put out fake news, and people will believe it because of that. So, it's just read, look at credible sources. I mean, people talk about like, well, CNN is putting out, well, CNN is a credible source. They've been doing it forever. The Washington Post is a credible source. So a lot of times when I see something on the internet, I wait to see it on something credible before I start talking about it. And every now and then they catch me. You know?
Right.
But that misinformation, there's a lot of reasons behind it. I mean, Russia's whole campaign, part of their war is to do misinformation. I mean, that's just a new form of warfare, So there's a political agenda behind a lot of it too, So you just got to read, man, and be up on what you need to know, and don't fall for the banana to tailpipe. You know what I'm saying? Do your research.
Yeah, I think that, to your point, people don't know what a credible site is, and then people gravitate towards the thing that they believe in, but at the same time, they want their sources to be credible. They feel like, hey, CNN, they lying. They have an agenda, right? Washington Post, they have an agenda. Like, they're leaning towards one side or the other. So to them, if they don't agree, once again, if you don't agree with my point, then whatever you're saying ain't real.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this, like, I don't think that anyone at this table considers themselves like a political expert, but we have opinions. We have the right to those opinions, and we do research. We have meetings every week where we talk about what our topics are going to be. We do our research before we go in and have these discussions. We don't agree on everything that we talk about. I mean, because of the fact that we are going to multiple resources, looking things up and getting as much content and factual information, or even viewpoints from the other side of the fence that we can get. Like, I interact with like the people who make comments on our channel, whether it's across Instagram, YouTube, whatever. And some people just say things just because they want to be jerks. They're not even like trying to have a couple of those. They're not even trying to have a conversation about the topic.
Nah.
They want to call names. They want to say that that we're dumb. We don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, they're just trolling.
Exactly. And that's part of the whole thing is they're trolling, but part of the whole thing is they believe what they're saying, man. Don't get it twisted.
Oh yeah.
Some of these people are trolling. Some of them believe exactly what they're saying. Like, you're black. How do you know? I don't know, because I got a brain and I can read and I have the capability to research and look at data. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Somebody said something like, are you Mike Tyson's cousin?
Yeah. They was going at you.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, because we all black. So, all black people are related, bro. So I know you wanted to say something.
No, just using examples of like misinformation and how it's impacted us as a country. I know we're coming out of COVID era, but COVID has really detrimented us, just globally, how people socialize, our kids and their lack of education, their ability to socialize. So I did go ahead and do some research on that and see like what happened to us and how misinformation impacted us in that realm. So New York Times, single largest driver of coronavirus misinformation came from Trump. That's New York Times.
Yeah.
Scholarly article for Trump, University of Connecticut. So this is a university. COVID-19 misinformation, fake news. Again, President Trump. NPR, pro-Trump countries have far higher COVID death rates. Misinformation is to blame. So misinformation is not even impacting us just on the intellectual front, but people die because of misinformation. And that's where, to me, the impact is so great. And that's where I felt like now research, and we also have to, educate them about what a credible source is, because people are losing their lives over misinformation, or at least they have in the past. So we got to make sure that we don't repeat that error.
Absolutely right on that. The COVID vaccine situation is just crazy. Led people to believe that the vaccine wasn't good, but then turn around and get the vaccine themselves, and it's nuts. And there's still people to this day that don't have a vaccine.
Yeah.
In my family, I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Exactly.
Nobody died, bro. Go get your vaccine. Like, I tell them this, I'll be like, you still worried about COVID? That's 2020. You 3 years behind. So, like, that misinformation for political gain, political reason, I mean, that's serious. That's why it's important that you do your research. Book banning, a lot of that stuff that's going on politically right now, and keeping you from information and not teaching history, all that falls into the play that I want to be able to tell you what I want to tell you and want you to believe it without any retribution or anything, or you're not going to look it up or whatever the case may be. So that's just, the why it's important that you do your research and you learn and stop believing all the fake news that's out there or whatever the case may be. And, and just pick up a book and read. Go to a credible source and read.
Exactly. And we're going to talk a little bit about the book banning a little bit later on. But one thing I do want to touch base on from a misinformation standpoint, like you said, you both were talking about COVID. Another piece of that pie is the insurrection.
Yeah.
Right. A whole lot. The impact of misinformation, people are taking it very lightly, but they need to really take it seriously, because at the end of the day, there are real impacts to people's lives. People die. People have died based on the fact that people are lying.
Straight line.
Right. And we talk about, lying can hurt you. Don't lie, this, that, and that. Your life. And that's nothing to joke with, man. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I think we know that the impact of it is something that is very powerful. But to kind of wrap this conversation up before we move on to the next one, how is it that we can help? Is there a way at all that we can prevent fake news and misinformation? Is it just here to stay? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, once again, the internet is here to stay. So fake news is here to stay. As long as somebody's got the capability of going on and putting it out there, it's not going to go anywhere, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, I don't think there's any way to prevent it other than educating yourself and being smart and not, like I say, falling for the okie doke. I mean, people are out there with their agendas to send us fake news and to gain stuff. If that's financial, if that's political, if that's just to make you look like an ass and laugh at you, I don't know. But that's not going anywhere because the internet's not going anywhere.